All signs could point to this. Well, maybe not this season or the next season, but Daniil Terasov, Bobrovsky's backup, could be the future for this Florida Panthers hockey team. Guys, thank you for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. I am your host, Greg Andrews, as always. And you guys need to hit that subscribe button down below. You need to stay up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Guys, I had such a blast on Panthers 360. I hope you were able to check it out. I just wanted to touch on that really quick. Again, it's going to be every Monday. I will not be on the show every single time, but probably once a month or so to be the analyst to talk some Florida Panthers hockey with Michael Trim, who is the anchor and host of the show and works for WPTV up in West Palm Beach. Awesome time. What a phenomenal experience. What a great guy. The cast and crew, I want to thank all of you guys there. Thank you, Mike. What a phenomenal experience. Again, I look forward to being back on the show, which will be October 13th. So don't miss that. Again, 12:15 on that Monday, and then it will air before the show. The edited version will air before, the game on that Wednesday. Again, I will give you updates for that in the future. This episode will actually air this Wednesday that I just went in for yesterday after the game on Wednesday, which should be televised. So I believe that show will be sometime about right after the game or maybe half an hour after the game. It'll be an edited version with some other storylines and things like that put in there from some of the other reporters that worked for Panthers 360. But again, thank you all at WPTV for having me on the show, being such a wonderful crew. Great experience. Anyways, guys, getting right to it. So Daniil Terasov looks like he could be the future for this Florida Panthers organization. Yes, I know there's Cooper Black, 6'8" beast of a goalie, was in the game the other day. I know the Panthers have not been playing that great in preseason, but guys, it's preseason. No need to hit the panic button or anything. These games do not mean anything. This is more about discussing talent, watching and seeing who is out there. This show is going to highlight Daniil Terasov and how he played. But before we get into how he played, I want to show you guys one very quick thing before we get into it. This was the lineup for the Nashville Predators. All of those red marks are guys who have significant NHL experience. Obviously, you know who Steven Stamkos is. Obviously, you guys know the last name Forsberg, and you know Saros. Just those three guys alone going up against this squad. The only person on this team right there that has NHL experience with the Cats, I know Nolan Foote has some experience. I understand Studnicka has some experience in the NHL as well. But the only person on that roster, and I took out the goaltending for a reason, is because Bjorn Foote is the only one who actually had experience playing for the Florida Panthers last year. So if you want to talk about how the goalie performances were, when you've got a team that's predominantly all the pros that had played last season and prior seasons as well and have probably hundreds of games in total combined under all of their belts. I mean, how many players was that there? Right, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys on your roster for that game have played in a lot of NHL games. Amateurs versus pros, obviously the amateurs are going to lose out there. So it was tough for Daniil Terasov to kind of get his footing because he's facing shots left and right. You know, I mean, he was even getting bumped into by his own players from time to time. A little bit rusty, not a lot of chemistry there. But again, this is more about seeing the talent out there, trying to find out who could be a potential prospect to bring up during the regular season when needed. So let's just jump right into this. Daniil Terasov, he's a big guy. Thank goodness we're getting a 6'5", 203-pound goaltender. 26 years old, grew up in the same place as Sergei Bobrovsky. Obviously, his mentor. He's looked up to him his whole entire career, guys. And there could be a bright future ahead for Daniil Terasov because of the things he will learn from Sergei Bobrovsky, from this coaching staff. Roberto Luongo, you know, is going to step in there with his goaltending academy and really help this guy get better. I do feel like the Panthers have a little bit of a leg up compared to the other organizations because of Roberto Luongo being on the team, having that camp there, really trying to get these younger guys to get better each and every season. Again, we might not see Terasov be this standout guy because Bob I mean, played 50 plus games, close to it, each of the last couple of seasons. So do we see Tarasov having a little bit more of a role or a little less? Again, Bob, I think, can have the ability to play a lot more in the regular season. He has the stamina, he's got the work ethic, and I do think they will put him in there. But at age 37, when do you say, you know what, we need to start to give him a little bit more of, instead of continuity in his play, maybe start to put a little bit more gaps in there to give him the rest? But to me, it seems like Bobrovsky is more of one of those streaky goaltenders. When he has that straight line approach of, okay, he's going to play, 5 or 6 games in a row, then maybe take 2 off, then play 5 or 6 games in a row. I don't see him being chopping it up and giving him these big gaps of rest, because I don't think that's the way he likes to play. I think he likes to have a lot of continuity, keep it rolling, stay on a good schedule, because that's what's good for his body, that's what's good for his mind. And again, goaltending, very different position on the ice compared to anywhere else, because there's a lot more of the psychological play and the physical play than there is for any other position on the ice. I mean, goaltenders, again, you let 1 or 2 go by, it could usually spell bad news for you for the rest of the game. But Bob is a little bit different. We've seen 3 or 4 go past. It's about that offense, it's about that defense in front of him that has really helped out tremendously. So let's take a look at Daniil Tarasov's numbers in the last 4 seasons. Obviously 23-24 with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Great season. I mean, not great, but his best season. Ignore his first year. He only played in 4 games, even though he did have outstanding numbers at 2.4 goals against and a pretty solid save percentage at .937. But that's a very small amount of games to really say definitively he's going to be great. The following season, put in a lot of goals went past him. The year after that, 3.18 goals against, .908 per save percentage. And then last season, 3.54 goals against and an .881 save percentage. Not exactly stellar numbers, but again, you kind of play up to the guys in front of you. If you don't have great defense all around for the other 5 guys that are trying to help you win a game, you're probably not going to, it's not going to spell success. I think on the Panthers, he will have great success because of the guys in front of him. That defense, it's not just the 6 guys that are the defensemen, it's the other 12 that are going to step on the ice. They're all solid defenders. Some a lot more than others. Obviously, we have 3-time Selke Award winner Sasha Barkov. You've got Reinhart, who was the runner-up last season. You've got some great defenders on this team, great two-way players, especially in the attacking positions. So I see that as a big boost for Tarasov mentally, which could improve his game, and then learning from Bobrovsky, his mentor. Again, the irony, we all know Bobrovsky looked up to Tarasov's dad. And now Daniil Tarasov has this amazing opportunity to look up to his mentor, Sergei Bobrovsky. So we should see a big improvement. So these were the numbers in that second game. Not exactly great for Daniil Tarasov. .833 save percentage. He did let 3 goals in. So obviously those are shots faced for the first category. Goals against, saves, save percentage. Yeah, not very good. I hate to say. So the 11 and 12 you see for Cooper and Black in that 5th column are even strength shots against. And then you have your power play shots against. And the last column are shorthanded shots against, or saves, excuse me. So in both those last columns, saves, power play save. And then the last column, like I just said, is not an even strength. The 11-12 even strength save percentage. Power play save percentage, I'm sorry, and the shorthanded save percentage. That's what it is. So not great numbers for Daniil Tarasov, but again, you're not getting a lot of help from the guys who are on the ice, because you're going up against a team that's literally having more than half of their roster that was on the team last year or on other teams in the NHL are playing. A really tough game for Tarasov. I saw some good things. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot or any stuff from that game to show you in terms of highlights for him or Cooper Black. I was searching. I didn't see much there. But there were some good moments for him. Cooper Black had some decent saves as well. So I'm not going to look at this and say it's a lose-lose. Not in the slightest bit. I'm going to say let him get his experience. Let him start to figure out where he's going to fit in with this team. And again, the future is going to be bright for him because of who he's learning from, because he's going to be part of a winning organization right now. He's happy to be here, and I'm going to get into all of that in just a second. But again, don't look at Daniil Terasov as such a, he's not going to be that great. He could be tremendous. And this is the reason why. He's made some great saves. I mean, he had 3 in a row right here. You saw the 2 there. There was a shot beforehand. I mean, he's able to make some solid saves. He can move across the crease pretty quickly. He's a big body at 6'5", like I said. He's had some great moves. Tremendous save right there on I think that was Kucherov. So he's got the talent. He needs the supporting cast, and now he's got it. Much like Bobrovsky's made some phenomenal saves. He's put up some phenomenal numbers, a lot of shutouts this past season, the regular season and the postseason. And his talent is there, and I think he's just going to get better. I think we all know goaltending in the NHL, especially the psychological aspect of it. When you've got great guys in front of you, you will play up to what they are playing at. No matter if you put 3 goals past you, you can make some great saves. Again, Bobrovsky in the playoffs was saving, I think it was the anticipated goals against, or whatever that stat line is, was 12 goals more than it was expected. So on average per game, Bobrovsky was saving 11 or 12 more of the goals than he was supposed to really be facing. So it's a big, big step in the right direction, I think, for the Panthers. Yeah, it's not, maybe they could find someone else that's great, but for a younger talent at 26 years old, up and coming, there is talent there. He has the experience in the NHL, and I think that's what the Cats are looking for, is maybe a possible replacement in the future. What better person to bring in? And obviously Bill Zito knows him very well from being at the Columbus Blue Jackets when I think he was first drafted or brought onto the team. That's when Bill Zito was there. It was his last year on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So he knows him very well. So again, there's method to Zito's madness. I'm sure there is a reason why he brought him here, and I don't think it's because he's not going to be the future. It might not be next year or the year after, but working with Bob and being his backup and then being the next guy up is a very real possibility for this team right now. So the last thing we're going to talk about right now are some of these quotes. So this is Daniil Terasov on being traded here. It's a huge honor, huge opportunity. I was super excited when I was traded. Got the call from Bill and especially from the Bob. It was a huge welcome. They said it was great to see me here as a Panther. And I got to say, I think the rest of the team is excited too. I know Bobrovsky's excited. But this is Paul Maurice on Bob mentoring Terasov and what he thinks Terasov could be. It's a great story in the room. And there's a hometown friend where Sergei is kind of a mentor in his life. The idea he could pass along some of this to someone he has a clear understanding of where he comes from is going to be great. There is open lines of communication between the two, which means the young man is going to get a great tutor. We think Daniil has the possibility of being a fantastic one in terms of being a goaltender. And this is Sergei Bobrovsky on Terasov. He's a good goalie, has good size, good reflexes, and sees the game well. I think he's going to have a good time here. The team is good in front of him. I'm looking forward to building our relationship. The group knows the story with me and him, but we need to build a good working relationship. That's so important. And then again, Daniil Terasov on the team itself. A good structured team. They're really helpful for a goalie. I need to help the guys when it's needed. Don't try to do too much to get the win. They're a good group here. They take care of each other, really like supporting each other. This is huge, guys. So, sorry about that. Got to get this back under control. So yeah, Daniil is happy to be here. Sergei's happy to have him. Paul Maurice is happy to have him here, sees a lot in him. And again, I think Bill Zito brought him here for a reason. That's why he traded. Yes, paying next to nothing for the guy. Bright future. Works well with Bob. Let's hope. Learns a lot from him. This could be a great thing in the making for the Panthers' future of goaltending. Because as we saw with Edmonton, you could have a great squad in front of your goaltender. But if you don't have at least a better than average goaltender, winning a Stanley Cup is going to be that much harder. Because you still need a guy who's going to make some unbelievable saves when the time is right. Just like Bobrovsky did in this past year's Stanley Cup Finals. There were several moments that I would say, had Bob not been able to make the save, the Panthers probably wouldn't have won their second consecutive Stanley Cup. But anyways, guys, thank you for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. I'm so glad you joined me. I do appreciate all of your support. More of these episodes are going to start churning out because preseason hockey's here, and especially in the regular season, a lot more is to come. Pre and post game analysis. I'm going to hopefully try to get some interviews going on here, which would be fantastic. And maybe get some other guests to come and join me that have their opinion, that are analysts. So look forward to that, guys. But yep, Panthers hockey is back. I am so excited. I know all of you are. I can't wait for this upcoming season. And again, don't forget, Wednesday night after the preseason game, look out for Panthers 360. I will be the analyst on there. And thank you all for joining me, and go Cats.